All right, welcome. I'm Sherilla Gordon Mowat, and I'm here with Miss Odine Bradshaw. Odine, how you do?
I'm doing fine. We're here in the parish of St. Elizabeth, way up in a community that is called St.
Isn't
Mary's.
that interesting? St. Mary's
Yes,
in
in
St.
St.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
I found it very
Yes.
interesting. All right, so today we're here to talk about protective agriculture with H&L Agro, of course, and the various solutions that H&L Agro can provide or for your protective agriculture needs. So specifically today, we're here to speak about these lovely tomatoes and all the other varieties that H&L Agro has to offer. So, Odin, what kind of tomatoes are these?
These are the Matthias tomato. They are especially bred for this kind of cultivation and the protective structure. So in Jamaica, we have adopted some amount of technology where farmers have moved towards the use of the protective structures to maximize on their space, and also they realize that the yield is much better than doing 5, 6 acres outdoor, and it's on a controlled environment, and everything is somewhat precise. And with this, they find that the yield is very much higher than what you do outdoor. And we do have varieties that are bred for these conditions. And also we have other complementary solutions that we offer these farmers doing protective agriculture.
All right, no problem. All right, so they help me with this one. The botanical name is. Let me hold on. Let me see if I hold on. Let me see if I can try it. Solanum lycopersicum. Did I get it?
Yes.
Nice. All right.
So as you just said, the botanical name and the origin of this crop is in South America. Here at H&L Agro, we have 4 varieties that we
Nice.
bring to market. And as you would know, or the viewers would know, tomato is categorized in 2 different categories. It's you have the table fruit. Some
Which would
persons
be
will
the big
say
ones like this one?
salad type or the
Ah.
slicing type when you're
Ah.
speaking to the regular household persons. And then you'll have the processing variety. They'll call it in field, they'll say the plummy
Plummy.
variety or the small one, as we would say out there. So here at H&L Agro, we do have the table fruit. That's the large one like this one, the Matthias. And we also have the Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Some of its main characteristics and features are it's a salad type tomato, mature within 75 days, has excellent high yielding potential. It produces large plum fruits that matures into a red deep color. Has a good disease resistant package against the Gemini virus, which most persons know as the jerry curls. It's excellent package also against Fusarium race 1 and 2 and also nematodes. Tyrannus competes with most of the other varieties of tomatoes on our fresh food market.
The Matthias is the leading greenhouse variety of tomatoes in Jamaica. It is an indeterminate variety, meaning that it continues to grow for a long period of time, as against those that are called the determinate variety. There are certain features about the Matthias that makes it the leading greenhouse variety in Jamaica. One, it is tolerant to a number of diseases. 2, the size. Approximately one tomato weighs approximately 250 grams, which actually is about quarter pound. 2, it's very tasty. The flesh is very tasty. Another point is in terms of its uniformity. It has some uniform fruits. All the fruits are basically on one size. And another point about Matthias is the longevity of the plant. You can reap your Matthias up to 8 months, good production. And that's one of the things that the farmer wants. He wants to have a plant that continues to earn him a reasonable income or a reasonable return on his investment. So these are some of the things that makes Matthias an outstanding variety. in Jamaica and amongst the greenhouse farmers.
Both varieties can be grown under protective structure,
Okay.
right? And however, the Matthias is more designed or equipped to tolerate the protective structure
Okay.
or that kind of environment. We also have two leading processing varieties. These are the SV8578TE. The local persons just shorten it and call it SV
SV.
tomato.
I mean, that's
And
shorter.
then we do have the DRD 8564. And the local persons, when they go to the farm store,
DRD.
it's just DRD to them.
All right, so another variety that we have at H&L Agro is the DRD 8654, right? Which is a solid type, right? It has high yield potential. It has a maturity days from 70 to 80 days, right? It also has good climate conditions as it can tolerate both heat and a little moisture. So it's a wonderful type of to go have in both climates. DRD is resistant to the Fusarium, race 1 and 2, and nematodes.
One of the varieties that H&L Agro offers is the SV8578TE. It is a salad type variety with high yielding potential. It takes 80 to 85 days to mature. It is ideal for a long crop cycle. It is also resistant to a wide range of diseases such as the tomato mosaic virus, vermiculum wilt, Fusarium wilt races 1 and 2, and also nematodes, which causes root knots. This variety is a dual purpose variety. It has firm fruits with a paired shape. It also has a thick cell wall, which enables it to have a long shelf life. And also, what is good about the SV8 is that it has a very good setting in both hot and humid climate.
All four varieties are manufactured by Seminis, a
Seminis.
trusted brand when it comes on to
seeds.
planting materials, seeds, hybrid seeds. So they are already designed and everything to give you wonderful yields.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so tomatoes require relatively warm weather and a lot of sunlight. So we're here in St.
And
Elizabeth.
it does so well in St. Elizabeth. Yes, welcome to St. Elizabeth. And you'll find that a lot of the farmers tend to have a feel of tomato because of the climatic condition, and it's very much conducive for growing tomatoes, and they get good yields from it. And of course, the disease and so forth is not that prevalent.
All right. What else can you tell us about tomatoes?
Tomato is from the Solanaceae family, right? And it cultivates extensively for its edible fruits, because this is a part that we actually consume, right? The plants are generally much bunched together. However, you'll find that you will have them spreading out up to 60 to 180 centimeters. Some persons, if they're familiar with inches, it's roughly about 24 inches to as much as 72 inches, right? The leaves are more or less hairy. So if you can zoom in a little bit, you'll find that you see some small hairs onto the leaf. And by look of it, you'll see the reflection and it look very glossy.
Okay.
Right?
Kinda shiny.
And again, the fruits are berries in terms of the description. Some persons call them berries also. They are usually red, scarlet. Now we are seeing yellow tomatoes. Now we are seeing purple tomatoes.
Nice.
We are also seeing orange tomatoes. But here in Jamaica, we are more familiar with the red tomato. And in terms of our consumer, they purchase with their eyes. So they want to see that it's uniform.
Oh,
Just as
nice.
how you're now
See
looking
them
at
big and
the
pretty?
Matthias, and you see the uniformity in terms of how it is, it ripes, right? So that's a quick facts. And then you'll find tomato that come in various shapes, but the main shape is red, oval or elongated.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you so much, Odine. I hear the rest of the team is here, and they are just really itching and excited to speak to us a lot more about, about tomatoes and, all that we need to take care of them under this protective type of protective structure. All right, so next up we will hear from Mr. Alberto Green, who is going to be telling us some very interesting quick facts about tomatoes. All right, so Alberto, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Hot, very hot, but I'm good. So, Alberto, can you give us just some quick facts that our viewers, would want to know, or interesting facts that our viewers would need to know about tomatoes?
Well, some interesting thing about tomato. A tomato can be eaten raw, of course. It can be used in dishes. It can be used in sauces, salsas. It can be even used in juice.
Juice. All right. There's a there's a drink that people make, and I believe it have tomato in it when you have a hangover. What's that drink called?
Yeah,
Again?
the juice is Blood Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Ah, all right. So what are some of the things in the nutrients or the vitamins and minerals in the tomato that make, especially for that drink in particular, what are some of the components of the tomato that make it good for that particular situation?
Well, the tomato is high in lycopene, and this is really an antioxidant that protects the heart. It even protects you against certain cancer. Even for men, it is very good to eat tomatoes because it helps a lot with the avoidance of prostate.
Prostate cancer.
Yes, definitely.
All right, no problem. I often hear people speaking about, eating tomatoes cooked versus eating tomatoes raw. Are there any benefits to eating it cooked
Well,
versus raw?
when you consume that tomato cooked, you get more nutrient from that tomato because the heat when cooking really stimulate or open up a lot more nutrient to consume, and for the human body it absorb them more.
Okay. All right, but it might be a good thing to not overcook.
Because some of those proteins will die when they overcook.
Okay.
Because the increase in temperature.
So do they die, or are they leached out in, whatever liquid you're cooking the tomato in? Do they
Well,
really die?
some of them, the heat automatically kills them.
Oh, okay. So it's finding that balance between the right
Temperature.
cooking temperature. All right, no problem. Now, what are some of the other, vitamins, minerals, nutrients that tomatoes might have?
Tomatoes high in vitamin C, vitamin B, magnesium. Tomatoes also high in fiber. Yes.
Okay. All right, no problem. So, Odin would have spoken to us, about the 4 varieties that H&L Agro offers, the 4 tomato varieties that H&L Agro offers. But if you could give us a ballpark figure.
Well, in Jamaica, we mainly plant the red tomatoes, but in the world we have over 10,000 different tomatoes. You have white tomato, black tomato, yellow tomato, even pink tomato.
All right, so Verdo, when do you think we're gonna be seeing H&L Agro coming to market with some pink tomatoes and some purple tomatoes, or are we jumping the gun?
Well, I would leave it for the management to decide on that one. So could be soon. We don't know as yet.
I think that would be pretty interesting. That's just from me, but it'd be really cool to see a pink tomato. Can you believe it? We have a pink tomato sale for Valentine's, or a yellow. Which season of yellow again? But anyway, a pink tomato for Valentine's, or even black tomatoes for Black Friday. Think about it, Alberto. Really,
Well,
really.
that's true.
Think about it.
I'm longing
About
to
it.
see the black one too.
Longing to see the black one tomorrow. All right, no problem. So we get in there. We don't no pressure. H&L Agro, no pressure. But we're really good and happy with the 4 varieties that we do have in the Jamaican market, and I'm sure our farmers are happy with these 4 varieties as well. Thank you so much for these quick tips, these quick facts, Alberta. I'm sure our viewers would have learned quite a few things that they maybe did not know about Irish potatoes. Wow.
Tomatoes.
Not Irish
The
potatoes.
pink tomato.
Tomatoes, man. Tomatoes. All right, no problem. All right, so when we come back, we will hear from Mr. Okinleon about site selection and designs when you are constructing your protective agricultural site. All right, Okin, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm very good. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So you're going to be speaking with us here on site selection. No, so just find one spot and put up a structure.
No, well, you can't do that. You have to find the ideal location for your greenhouse. You need to have a northwest or north-south orientation of the.
Seriously? Go ahead.
Oh, north-south.
Go on, man. Go on, go on.
Oh, north-south orientation of the house. We have to clear the area from the trees.
Sorry, why does it have to be north-south?
This is where how the breeze blow. So you get the best sunlight throughout the day because the sun rises from the east to the west.
Okay.
So orienting it north-south will give you that coverage.
Okay.
And you need actually 6 hours of daylight
Okay.
for tomato production in greenhouse.
All right, no problem. What else can you tell us about site selection?
All right. You have to ensure the area is clear from trees and debris, all of that. You need to find the best materials, right? So if you're doing a budget house, you can use lumber, treated from pests and diseases, and also you can use galvanized piping and to create your structure.
Okay, all right. What about elevation? Is that?
Yeah, elevation is one of the other crucial factors that you need to have in your selection. Above a certain elevation, you have good cooling. The lower level is warmer, and that would not be suitable for tomato production.
Okay. All right, no problem. All right, so while we're speaking, our viewers will be seeing on screen some of the some designs and stuff. So I believe a common type of greenhouse structure used locally is the I believe the tunnel house, and as well as the tunnel house. Are there any other common types of structures that are used locally?
Well, no, the most common one is a tunnel house structure, and this will provide the best type of dimension. So it has the ease of for your workers to pass through. Also, it provides you with this passive cooling. Some of them we build them with these structures that provide you passive cooling when you have these greenhouses.
Okay, all right. So after you find your spot and you do, you ensure that it is north-south, that's all? North-south?
North-south
North-south
oriented.
and all of these things, and you have the right elevation. What else do you now need to do to get your structure up and running?
All right, so one of the main thing is your preparation. You want to ensure that you have the proper bed so your workers can pass through. You want to ensure that your site is clear. All debris, all of that is outside of the greenhouse. All right.
All right, no problem. In terms of the planting space, is there anything?
Yeah, man. So there is a specific planting space for tomato culture in the greenhouse. You can use your 3-foot beds, and then you have a 2.5 space in between each plant.
Okay, what's it? And then the
Bed height. So we at least half to 1 feet from the ground.
Okay. All right, no problem. And then in terms of this, so we would have just gone through some of the planting spacing.
Yes, ma'am. So the traditional size or the regular one that persons in Jamaica normally have is 3,000 square feet, and you have at least 667 plants per house. Yeah. Some farmers have bigger houses that can hold up to 1,333 plants.
Okay, that's a lot of tomatoes.
That's a lot of plants.
That's a lot of tomatoes. All right, walk us through now, the seedling preparation and planting.
Alright, so very crucial for your seedling, you know, to your hybrid planting material, especially in the greenhouse structures. You know, these last for a longer period in the greenhouses. You're gonna plant them in your seed trays, the best practice, and you wait until they reach true leaf. That's 7 to 14 days after after germination, right? And then you're gonna keep them in this environment. You're gonna water them with your fertilizers, and then for about 4 to 5 weeks, then you can transplant them.
Okay. Anything else that you'd be able to get us or say to us in terms of the seedling preparation? Part
Well,
of it, you know, anything in terms of the trellising?
Yeah, man, very important. That's after it start growing. It's very important that you trellis your plants. It keeps them off the ground when they're bearing, and also prevent pathogens from causing you loss to your tomatoes.
Okay, no problem. Interesting stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, Okeen. It was a real pleasure to have you.
You're
So I'm
welcome.
sure, you know, our viewers would have heard a lot more about, you know, what they can do and what they would, you know, the necessary steps that they would take in creating their protective structures to grow, you know, their tomatoes or any other crop that they would like to grow in a protective structure. So thanks
All right.
again, Okeen.
No problem.
All right, next up, we will have Mr. Kingsley Palmer, who will speak to us about the pests and diseases that affect tomatoes. Kingsley, how you do?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
A little birdie told me that St. Elizabeth is your parish, is that true?
Definitely.
So you're really
I just live a stone's throw
a
from here.
stone's throw. So
Rona.
you and Rona are pretty much very good friends?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, no problem. All right, so Kingsley, thank you so much for joining us as we, you know, have the discussions about protective agriculture, and of course the various solutions and products that H&L Agro has to offer in that particular you know, sector and that particular segment of the industry. Now, we would have heard you know, about site selection and scouting and all the like you know, before, as it relates to you know, tomatoes within this particular space. But even though we're in a protective site, we still have to be mindful of the various pests and diseases that can, you know, still affect our crops within this space. Tell me a little bit more about the various pests and diseases that really affect the tomato plants.
Yeah, well, as you indicated earlier on, that although one is in a protective environment, one cannot underestimate and undermine the fact that the tomatoes will be, from time to time, be exposed to pests and diseases. So some of the major pests are like your whiteflies, whitefly infestation. You have your mites, you have the caterpillar, you have the nematodes, the thrips, and some other minor insects.
Okay. All right, no problem.
Yes.
So so those would be like the
major ones.
the major insects. So what about the other diseases?
Well, you have diseases like your powdery mildew, bacterial spot, early blight, and late blight, and botrytis. Those are some of the major ones. But whenever we detect these problems, then we at H&A will have the perfect solution. So we have insecticides and fungicides that can counteract all these issues.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so tell us about some of the insecticides and the fungicides that we can use to
Okay,
keep
for the initially, we advocate that the farmers use Actara. That will assist in getting rid of your Jerry curly whitefly, because that's a major issue, whether you're operating indoors or outdoors. Whitefly is a major issue. So the Actara. Also, we have like your Pegasus and your Vertimec. Those will get rid of your mites, right? And for your caterpillar, we have the BTs, the Zentari, we have the Dipel, and we also have the Agri.
Okay.
Those are the BTs. And you would normally use those whenever you're reaping, because the PHI, the pre-harvest or post-harvest interval is 0 days. So you can actually spray today and eat tomorrow.
Okay.
for the BTs.
For the BTs.
Right.
All right. And just remind us what the BT stand for.
Bacillus thuringiensis. That's a bacteria.
Okay.
The active ingredient in those particular products.
So
it's a natural. Yes.
Okay.
So farmers who are doing organic farming, they tend to adhere to those products.
Okay. All right. So those would be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. And for your fungicides now, for one of the major fungus that affects the greenhouse operation is the powdery mildew, and we have Score, which is a very effective fungicide. We also have like your Bravo, your Drilomil, your Revus, your Amistar. Those are very effective fungicides. Some of these, like your Amistar, it is systemic, so it goes into the system of the plant and protects the plant for a period of time. And that is also from an organic, from a natural, the active ingredient, spinosad, is from the mushroom, right? And so that is also a very safe fungicide to use in the operation of the greenhouse.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we just heard about, all legit, like clearly, the only place you need to go for anything at all that you need for your crops, be it tomatoes or anything else, is H&L Aggro. We have everything that you need. And of course, Kingsley, as one of our market development officers, you and the team, if the farmers need any on-site assistance, visiting the farm, walking the farm, just ensuring, building the program for the farmer to just ensure that their crops flourish. Because of course, when farmers flourish, the nation flourishes. The farmers feed us all.
Definitely.
And we want to ensure at H&L Aggro that we're giving them the right things to get the right results. And of course, farming is a business, so we want to ensure that our farmers are getting all the things that they need to ensure that they are able to get the most from their crops and the most from their harvest. All right, no problem. Thank you so much for joining us, Kingsley. So Kingsley, you go over here definitely and come back.
Go already.
You go. All right. Stay tuned. We will be back in a second. I'm gonna go and collect my goods. Done now? All right, so when we come back, we're going to hear from Delano Julius, who will speak to us about, the soluble nutrition. Because, of course, after we fix up the place and we get the place ready and then we ward off all the bugs and stuff, we have to ensure, and the diseases, we have to ensure that the plants are really getting the right nutrients that they need to grow and flourish. So when we come back, Delano Julius is going to be speaking to us about the nutritional program for our tomatoes that exist within a protective agricultural structure. We'll be right back. All right, Delano, welcome to this protective agricultural structure here in St. Mary's, St. Elizabeth. I still can't get over the fact that the place named St. Mary's and it's in the parish of St. Elizabeth, but let's not even get into that. So, Delano, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, so today we're going to be speaking about we're speaking about protective agriculture.
Yes.
As it specifically relates to tomato, right?
Yes.
So we heard about the site selection and preparation. We heard about pest management. We heard about disease management. So tell us a little bit more. So after we get over those hurdles, what can you now tell us about any biostimulants or nutrition that H&L Aggro has to offer for tomato farmers?
Okay, so let us start off with the biostimulants. We only have one biostimulant in our portfolio, which is called the algas. Now, for biostimulants are used to relieve the plants of any stress, any undue stress, right? So it could be too much water or it can be heat stress, right? So the algas also, it has more than one component to it. So it's not just for heat stress alone or for waterlogging on the roots. What also it does, help the plants to have better fruit set, help the plants to have a better root development, right? And it also has micronutrients to it, like your copper, your iron. So it can be used as a foliar application to the leaves. So the plant accepts the algas readily. It also has the seaweed content to it, which is 100% seaweed. So a lot of farmers are getting good results from the algas, right? The dosage rate for the algas is 1 tablespoon per gallon. So if you would like to make it stronger, you can put up to about 2, but it's recommended that you keep it at 1 tablespoon per gallon, right? We also have our fertilizer, which is called the solo feed line, which has 4 compartments to it. It has the starter, the development, the flowering stage, and also the maturity stage, right? So you, in this greenhouse, I am sure that the farmer is using straight solo feed in this, as you can see the production inside the house, and it's at a very early stage, right? So when you look at the fruits, you can see the fruits have a firmer content to it. So when you can look, you can, when the harvesting is happening, you can see that the farmer can explain to you that he has a longer shelf life with the tomatoes, and that's one of the benefits of the solo feed line. Yeah, man, you can test it and look and feel it, man. Yes, right? In the starting, you will start with the starter at about 3 weeks, from 1 to 3 weeks, after you would introduce your development stage. Your development stage would contain 22, 11, 22, which you have the 22 in nitrogen, the 11 in phosphorus, and the 22 in potassium, right? And it also has the magnesium content to it. So your magnesium will help you to take up the necessary nutrients which the plants require from the root come up, so you can get the necessary nutrients, help to feed on the nutrients, I would say, right? And then you have the flowering stage, which is 12, which is the nitrogen, as I said, the 20, and the 30%, which is the potassium, right? And they have the maturity stage, which is 10, 10, 40, right? So normally what farmers would do, they would interchange with the development stage at the latter part when you're reaping or the fruits. You would interchange with the development stage and the maturity stage, right? So every other week they will mix it, because the development stage is the continuous leaf development, root development, if you have any spoil or any damaging of the roots, I would say. And then now the maturity stage, which is the 40% potassium, which will help with your flowering and also your fruit set.
Oh, nice. All right, so in terms of the, so we heard about the biostimulants, we heard about the solid feed line. Is there anything else that, you know, you would recommend that the farmers use in this particular setting?
Yes, at the HNL, in the HNL portfolio, we also have fertilizer which can be administered through the leaves, which is our liquid feed line and our multi-feed line. You have the multi-feed for the tomatoes as well. Persons can actually use it. It is 1 tablespoon, just the same, to the gallon, to be applied to the plants, right? And it really, what this does, if you are not able to feed the plant by the root, right, what you can do, you can use this fertilizer to actually feed the plants through the leaves, right? And then you have the amino acids, which can be mixed with the algas just to help to the repairs of leaves and also to reduce the plants of the stress, as I mentioned before, right? And you have all of this line. You can get it at any H&L agro store.
Awesome. So enough, not true. But then you will get some pretty tomatoes like these.
Yes.
I'm not lying, these tomatoes are so gorgeous. Oh, so gorgeous. All right, thank you so much for joining us, Delano. Pleasure to have you inside the greenhouse. Still hot. St. Elizabeth hotty, man. Still hot, but nonetheless, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so when we come back, we're gonna just close out today's show back again with Miss Odine Bradshaw. Stay tuned. We're coming back in a few quick seconds just to wrap it up. Thank you. All right, people, we have a real treat for you. Earlier in the show, we told you that we were in St. Mary's in St. Elizabeth and we're on a tomato farm, but we didn't speak about the farmer. So Rohan, thank you so much for inviting us
You're
and
most
welcoming us on your farm here today. How you do?
I'm not bad, giving thanks. It's a
Okay.
pleasure to have you guys here.
Yay, awesome. And thank you too for,
most welcome.
choosing H&L Agro, both our seeds as well as our crop care solutions and
Most
our
definitely.
nutritional solutions. So Ron, I'm sure the people are looking at the camera and they must say, but how old this farmer here looks? So that farmer look like young boy. So don't it? So no look him young, don't it? Ron, tell the viewers, how old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
27. See? See, you young people, farming is a very good. Talk to the people. How's your experience in farming been?
Well, my experience in farming has been good so far, especially with the encouragement of my good friend, Mr. Palmer.
Big up
He
Kingsley.
motivates me a lot, Mr. Kingsley Palmer. Big up every time. Yeah, farming for me is really good. It's not. I don't really look at it for the money purpose. I just look at it because it's something I love, and I do my own work. So like being my own boss is really good, and I should say it's really, really good for real.
And of course, when the money comes in, that's also very good.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
All right, no problem. Is there anything else that you have on your farm?
Yeah, I have broccolis and I have cauliflowers, cucumbers and sweet peppers and sweet potatoes as well.
But the farmer going with beer things. Eat your vegetables, guys. Eat your, especially your tomatoes, but eat your vegetables so that farmers such as Rohan, can continue to feed us and of course put food on his family's table, as well as the persons who work on his farm as well. They are also able to feed their families. But Ron, me not lie, your tomato them stay very.
Yeah, man, they are
Still
very,
good.
very
Them get-
nutritious as well.
Yeah, them get very all right. The tomato them look like them get plenty love and care. Is it that or maybe it's the plenty love and soil feed?
Well, I give thanks for H&L Aggro for the solar feed program as well. It's really, really good. Trust me. I should say even from start it's really good. I see a lot of good result. In terms of growing. We use 221122 for the development of the trees, and especially when we're ready for reap as well, maturity stage, we use 101040. So it's really, really good. We have to give thanks to H&L Agro. They supply me with solar feed. It's really, really good.
We got the good stuff. So you can get the good stuff from what we provide to the market. Thank you so
definitely.
much, Rohan.
You're most welcome.
All right, no problem. So when we come back for real this time, we will hear from Miss Odine Bradshaw as she takes us out.
Wow, beautiful, nice uniform clusters. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for our series that features the protective agriculture. Here at H&L Agro, we have a great line of solutions that are used to bring forth this kind of production and for you to reap bountiful harvest. As you can see, we're featuring the Matthias tomato today, and there's such uniformity amongst the clusters, the health of the plant, and the results that we are getting, complemented by our crop care program along with the nutrition line of solutions that we offer here. And today we are featuring the Due West line of soluble nutrition solutions, which has the multi-feed, liquid feed, and solid feed. Again, we implore you to reach out to our technical staff, which is in the field and always willing to bring guidance. And we thank Mr. Rowan for allowing us to do this feature today at his vicinity. Guys, thanks for joining. That's a wrap. Thank you.